Good evening, this is Professor Rush back again with another exciting episode with our hero, Oo, authentic space alien, galactic traveler, and maybe a protector of antiquities. In this episode, Oo fills in more background concerning the Interrositor. He's a bit more serious this time as well. So once again, here is Oo.
Okay, alright. Now, I don't want any more screw-ups. Makes us look cheap, especially relying on an Earth creature who is technologically illiterate. Probably could fix a hammer. We're on? Ha 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 ha. Oh, Johnny boy. Oh, are you there, oh, Johnny boy? Just kidding, of course. I'm sure you could fix something more complicated than a hammer. Perhaps a nail?
Yes, I'm here. Seems like you're getting your gadgets working okay.
Gadgets working? My gadgets have always worked fine. Maybe I should look that word up. Gadget. Gadget. Oh, ha 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 ha. Small appliance or instrument used to accomplish a task. Or in tandem, blah, 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 blah. I thought you were referring to a specific part of my, anatomy. Yes, anatomy. Anyway, John, look around. It's a new year and nothing spectacular has happened. No cataclysmic event on December 21st, 2012. Of course, the election might be another issue. But again, many gullible and ignorant Earthlings had anticipated the end of the world on December 21st, 2012. You see, John, this is the problem with myth. Hard to, let me use your phrase, separate the wheat from the chaff. Now, we know, looking at the data, there was a cataclysmic event approximately 3200 BCE in your calendar, as you recall from a previous discussion. But there is no way to determine if this was a single event occurring on December 21st, 3200 BCE, or a protracted event occurring over a period of weeks or even months. I mean, what type of timekeeping system are you using? Looking at your data, the event occurred between 3350 and 3100 BCE, using your standard time measure. So the Mayans needed a start date for their myth. The Mayan date, one of their long counts by the way, the Mayans had another long count that would be considered the Great Round of 25,920 years approximately, in using your time count. Now, your archaeologist may have read the glyphs incorrectly. The event of 3225 BCE was passed down in their myths, which was then matched with their original calendar system some 1500 years later. So, I can tell you, John, the Mayans never had an exact date for this cataclysmic event, or the starting date for the beginning of the fifth time period. That is, the one that just ended. This is an arbitrary date relative to their knowledge or stories of such an event. Again, beginning in their myth, 3225 BCE. So there you go. Your demise is something to look forward to.
So you think our demise is imminent?
Oh my, yes, John, and you're closer than you think, on the social level at least. All the civilizations that ever existed on your planet devolved because of economic collapse brought on by wars, weather patterns, and human stupidity. So you must prepare. There is always an element of truth in the stories, the myths, depending on your interpretation, of course. Anyway, John, I need to fill you in, give you a little more information regarding the Interrositor, without giving the whole story away. It may help you to understand myths of cataclysms and destruction. They are part of a universal myth shared by life forms in every galaxy. This suggests to our species, at least, a universal memory that transcends the universe. That is, this universe has come and gone many, many times.
Well, why can't you give the whole story away?
Well, I have to save the best for last. You see, John, the Interrositor is only part of a larger, more sophisticated prototype. In fact, the original, what you would call a machine, was made up of 6 modules, each of which was designed to function in a particular manner. It has the ability, through IDYL-BOATH's contribution, the 7th module, to retranslate the universe into its original state. And this reverse process, through reverse engineering, codifies all the rules of the universe so that one entity or being or species would have the ability to create and destroy the universe at will. So, Orak Tech must know where some of these modules are and is trying to reassemble the device.
Interesting. Perhaps it's already happened. How would you know if the Star Master or the Valtet or that priest you spoke about, how do you know he hasn't already done this?
IDYL-BOATH, you mean? Yes, well, if he had done this, we would not have the Interrositor or any of the other modules.
Well, have you ever seen any of these modules? Do they really exist? What if there were copies created?
Well, John, you have come to one of the problems with this. I have not seen any of the modules. It is like some of your police who track down your predators. You know, what you call gangsters or thugs or politicians or presidents and so on. You know where they are, but they are always one step ahead. I do believe the storyline to a point. I can't say that I really believe this thing could run the universe in reverse. And no, there are no copies because all that would have been destroyed as the universe was deconstructed and returned to its original state.
Well, what if a second device was somehow fit into the first device?
Oh, you're just complicating my storyline here. This is myth, John, so don't concern yourself with the details. Now, the device can replicate itself because it knows everything about everything else, including itself, so there would be no need to have a backup. Anyway, and this is the point, IDYL-BOATH did not invent all the modules, just the one for massive data collection, synthesis, and storage. The other 6 modules together were designed to put what I will call thought into action and build a tangible universe that opened outwards, expanding space. But it was what would you say, a one-way street. It's like a sneeze. It is unidirectional. IDYL-BOATH found a way not only to extract the databases of civilizations with his module, but to extract the universe itself, to turn a sun or planet into the very thoughts that produced it in the first place, and store this information for his own use. In doing so, systematically, he could reverse engineer the universe. But now, here is the problem. He needed the other modules to do this. No, the other modules came from another source. You might call a higher source. You see, John, and as you know, we live in a dualistic world. For example, tangible and intangible. Another way of explaining this is you have thoughts, which for our purposes are the intangible, higher part of you, while your body and your actions represent the tangible. But, as you can understand, thoughts lead to action in our universe. So the inventor or inventors of the other modules thought them into existence. The inventor of this, or at least one of them, according to the story, our myth, was Sophiana, which means to bring forth. Now, to answer your thoughts, I'm a mind reader too here, John. Sophiana lives in an intangible universe, our parallel universe. And she, I'll use she instead of it, she could see absolutely no purpose in an intangible universe. So she thought the modules into existence. Remember, this is myth. I cannot answer how this happened. Her thoughts were not as simple as let's make a sun or a moon. No, her thoughts had to involve everything that goes into making what you call atoms or quarks or quantum mechanics and all the information that goes into making a planet. You know, your physics. And all that information was encapsulated into this complex machine made up of 6 modules. IDYL-BOATH added the 7th. It is unlikely, although not impossible, that IDYL-BOATH is still alive. But we know one of his heirs is. And if these 7 modules come together, this person or group may take the universe back to its original state. And is our belief, our storyline, that this heir will have to confront or in some way interact with Sophiana, or those who brought the 6 modules into existence in the first place. This is our Armageddon. Only one type or configuration of energy can lie on that other side. And taking anything tangible into that other side would either destroy the universe outright as we know it, or our science also says the tangible material, the universe, would be encapsulated in some manner, preventing direct contact with the energy on the other side, but be able to deconstruct the universe at will. Time as we know it would have no relevance to IDYL-BOATH or his heirs. He would have, in effect, a time machine and could change the evolutionary path of all living things. Your whole existence, my existence, could be wiped out in an instant, and new life paths created. This would give IDYL-BOATH absolute control over the universe. He could act like what you call a god. Now, we know he had a son, whose name was Boath, and it is our belief that he is the one carrying on the search for the other modules. Our storyline tells us that Boath killed his father, either depending on which story you read, because he wanted his father's power, his knowledge, or he defied him, a symbolic killing, to free the universe, to disperse the knowledge and thus universal consciousness. So Boath is either a culture hero or a madman bent on destroying the universe. Thus we are off to locate the first of the 7 what you call gadgets. We'll let old Rocket think he has gotten away for now. We know where he is, and we do know the Interrositer exists. This module we're going after is called the SKEETERA-KEY-PT. This is actually a musical instrument, but able to dissect the fabric of the universe, separating the stringy stuff woven together, the tangible and intangible, stuff you call matter, collecting stray antimatter particles in the process. But this module can lure you to your death, as others have searched for the elusive SKEETERA-KEY-PT and never returned to tell the story. So we have to take a short trip. Wait until you meet Duster the Smooth. Ha 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 ha. That, of course, is not his real name. I'm using it for theatrical purposes only. because there's no way to pronounce his name in your manner of auditory communication.
So who or what is Duster the Smooth?
Yes, Duster the Smooth, yes. He is a very nasty bounty hunter. And he thinks he's going to corner the market on rare minerals. So in exchange for Mendenite and Hittonite and Ishmaelite and other things your science can only theorize about, he works for me, and I get him these commodities. I'm securing his help to find the modules. First, the SKEETERA-KEY-PT. Sometimes you need bad people to catch bad people, but they are always a liability, not to be trusted. Now, he is somewhat, shall I say, vulgar, speaks his mind. I hope you're up for this, especially if you want to understand the meaning of the Grail, the important part of which is the quest. So we may have to put some dragons in their place, and don't criticize the night because it is dark, if you get the symbolism. Anyway, gotta go.
I want you back. My neighbors think I'm crazy, but they don't understand. You're all I had. You're all I had. At night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself, talking to the moon, trying to get to you.